This is KGW News at noon.
Right now, former President Donald Trump is en route from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida to New York City. This is a live look at LaGuardia International in New York. That's where Trump is expected to land this afternoon. Tomorrow, he faces a judge and will respond to criminal charges. Hello, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you for joining us here at noon. A historic week is set to unfold in New York, with former President Trump preparing to respond to criminal charges, as we said. NBC's Bree Jackson has the very latest from Washington, D.C.
How do you feel, Mr. Trump?
Former President Trump preparing to voluntarily surrender to New York authorities.
He's gearing up for a battle. This is something that obviously we believe is a political persecution.
Trump is the first former president to face criminal charges. Sources tell NBC News there are about 30 of them related to alleged document fraud. Their exact nature will be unveiled during his arraignment Tuesday.
We will take the indictment. We will dissect it. The team will look at every potential issue that we will be able to challenge, and we will challenge it.
The indictment is connected to alleged hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
This is less about the crime and more about the target. So it has to play out.
It's very sad for our country to have to go through this. I would hope and pray that whatever comes forth, that they've done due diligence.
The legal fight comes as Mr. Trump makes his third run for the White House. His campaign says they've already raised more than $5 million since he was indicted last Thursday.
What they think that they're going to do to President Trump, it's going to boomerang back on them.
This whole process of them indicting Trump is a sham.
The former president will fly from Florida to New York this afternoon and stand before a judge Tuesday. And after his arraignment in New York, former President Donald Trump plans to travel back to Florida and deliver remarks from his Mar-a-Lago estate on Tuesday night. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Closer to home, in less than 2 hours, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, Michelle Melendez, and her daughter, Layla Stewart, is due to appear in court. Kirkland Warren faces 2 counts of first-degree murder. Right now, Warren is in the Clark County Jail being held without bail. The medical examiner said last week that both Michelle Melendez and her daughter, Layla, died of gunshot wounds to the head. Their bodies were found in Washougal almost 2 weeks ago. Police say they found blood evidence, shell casings, and a purse with Michelle's ID inside Warren's car. A family spokesperson spoke to reporters after Warren was charged on Friday.
At this time, we just hope he spares this family any more heartache and pleads guilty.
Investigators say GPS data put Warren at the exact spot where the bodies were discovered. We'll have coverage of today's court appearance on air and online at KGW.com. Now to a shooting inside a Hillsborough restaurant that killed a woman. Police say the 42-year-old woman was shot inside Kim Red Rose restaurant where she worked just before 1 o'clock yesterday morning. Investigators say a small group of people were asked to leave the bar. Then one of them shot the woman and drove off before police got there. KGW spoke with one of the woman's friends.
I got chills. I looked at my husband. I was just in shock because we knew her a long time, like 30 years.
This is the second deadly shooting in the city of Hillsborough this year. Anyone with information should contact Hillsborough Police. And a battleground man accused of storming the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th insurrection is slated to appear in court today as well. Jeff Grace is expected to enter a plea for several charges. Both he and his son Jeremy appeared in photos at the Capitol building that day. Last July, Jeremy Grace pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge for his role in the attack. He was sentenced to 21 days in prison and supervised release. The father and son are 2 of 9 people from Oregon and Washington who face insurrection-related charges. Also, have you seen this man? Portland police want your help finding Stephen Burton. He has been missing for more than a week now. The 29-year-old was reported missing on March 24th after he went on a walk but didn't return home to the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. His family thinks he may have gone to downtown Portland, but they're not sure. They say Burton did not bring his medications, wallet, or cell phone with him. He's 5'8". Police say he was last seen wearing a tan hoodie with a logo on the front, as well as some ripped jeans. Grab a pen, because if you see Burton or know anything about his disappearance, police want you to call 911 and reference the case number that is right there on your screen. That is 2376720. And take a look at this. Some people woke up to snow falling in the Portland metro area this morning. This is video shot near West Sylvan in Portland. And Chris McGinnis, he's standing by. Chris, we're talking about snow in spring. So how much snow might we be looking at this week?
Well, we're not completely done yet, at least not done with a chance. But at least for this morning and into the afternoon, we're done in Portland. 45 last check in downtown. It's 44 in Vancouver. Hillsborough is up to 43. At one point, Hillsborough was down to 31. There was some light accumulation in western Washington County heading up towards the Coast Range, but not very high, I might add. 46 right now in Dallas, and Salem sits at 44. Speaking of the Coast Range, let's take you there real quick. We do have winter weather advisories still in effect through the day today for the Coast Range, for the Cascade foothills, and for the Cascades themselves, as the snow does continue to fly there. The Coast Range has thawed out a little bit, but I do expect that area to refreeze overnight. All right, live look at radar right now, showing a little smattering of green on the map. So we have a couple of pop-up showers, and as I put this into motion over the last 3 hours, you can see that we're continuing to deal with these across southwest Washington and northwest Oregon, and those will be flavoring our afternoon, getting peppered here with showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder before the day is done. The live look from Astoria even showing some sun breaks. So a little bit of everything in the forecast this afternoon. There is still a low elevation snow flake threat tomorrow morning. I don't think we'll have any accumulation, but in any event, gradual warming is in the forecast thereafter. I've got that for you coming up in just a few.
Sounds good. I like that little bit of blue sky I see in that monitor. Okay, thank you, Chris. Starting today, both Oregon and Washington will no longer require masks inside healthcare settings. But even though it's no longer a state mandate, individual healthcare facilities can still require them. KGW's Catherine Cook checked in with some of our local hospitals to find out about masking expectations moving forward.
Starting Monday, state mask mandates in healthcare settings will be a thing of the past. That goes for workers, patients, and visitors in both Oregon and Washington. A coordinated effort to end one of the most steadfast regulations of the pandemic.
We wanted to be sure that all of our patients stayed safe and be respectful of others.
Terry Dantzler with Portland Urgent Care discussed the policy change with staff. They decided to continue requiring patients with a cough or cold symptoms to wear a mask when they come in. Employees will also wear a mask if they have symptoms or when testing a patient for COVID. Dantzler says during the pandemic, staff were very diligent about wearing masks, and it showed.
Not one staff member that we're aware of got COVID because of a patient walking in the door. So that was an amazing statistic for us.
State health officials announced the impending changes about a month ago. At the time, Oregon State Health Officer Dr. Dean Seidlinger pointed out that flu and RSV cases were dropping, while COVID cases were also trending downward. Still, he recognized lifting the mask mandate in medical settings would bring mixed feelings.
For many, they're greeting this announcement with happiness, that this is a great positive step as we move on from COVID-19. For others, particularly those with chronic conditions or who are immunocompromised, they're facing this decision with some anxiety.
Over the last month, individual healthcare providers have all adjusted their guidelines to take effect April 3rd.
Take Legacy, for example. They'll continue requiring masks in certain areas and situations. That includes around oncology, transplant, and medically fragile patients, and anytime a patient or family member asks that a mask be worn.
Providence is making similar adjustments. They'll continue asking patients with symptoms of respiratory illness to wear masks and ask that visitors with such symptoms stay home. Peace Health and OHSU are also maintaining mask requirements in high-risk situations. As we move into this next post-pandemic phase, health officials say it's important that we not let our guard down. Always be considerate, especially if you're sick.
To me, that's just common sense now that we've been wearing them for so long and we understand that it does help.
In Northwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
And a quick heads up for people who take the bus to the Gateway Transit Center. TriMet says construction is shutting down service at the Northeast Pacific Street and the Oregon Clinic bus stop. That's near the transit center. Buses will drop passengers off on the opposite side of the regular Gateway Transit Center stop. The changes started last night and will last until Saturday, April 8th.